Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hope you're having a great day. Today we're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, and if we all know, they've had an amazing season so far. They've been really the only amazing team in the East, in my opinion, at the moment. You can maybe include the Bucks and the Nets, but the East has been very, very underwhelming this year. Teams like the Celtics, the Pacers, Wizards, and a few Raptors, Heat, all those other teams that we thought were going to be like really good. Most of those haven't been too great so far. But the Sixers have been very surprising, and it's been fun to watch, man, because I think after last year, their disappointing season, getting eliminated in the first round. No, Ben Simmons and Joel were hurt, but they got demolished in the first round. I think the expectations were set a lot lower this year, and they definitely have smashed them with Ben Simmons, like I've said multiple times before, being possibly the best defender in the league. Joel Embiid maybe being MVP. They have Seth Curry just shooting the lights out over there. Tobias Harris having a career year. Doc Rivers coming in, I think, changed a lot for him. He has changed the entire team really for the better, and it just shows that they probably should have got rid of Brett Brown a lot sooner. But recently, there has been talk about recently, I mean like within the past day, that Kyle Lowry might want out of Toronto, and there were word that Toronto may want to get rid of him too, and that Philadelphia 76ers might be his number one destination. So what I'm going to do today, instead of just talking about the possibility of Kyle Lowry going over to the 76ers, I'm just going to talk about a few trades that the Sixers could make that would be blockbuster deals that could bolster their team from being the best in the East to possibly being one of the best teams in the league and maybe even contending for a championship. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in today's video. So, Kyle Lowry, he's only on a one-year deal, so it's his last year, and he could leave the Toronto Raptors for nothing this season. They would get nothing in return, and he's the franchise's best player of all time. Now, Kawhi is obviously better than him, but in terms of what they did for the franchise, I think Kyle Lowry is like the franchise player of all time for the Toronto Raptors. And, I think they want to get something for him at least. So, what better to do than the Sixers to snag on him right now? While they're playing good without him, might as well go ahead and try and get him. And I don't think they would have to give up too much, because like I said, if he's wanting out on his last year of his deal and he's older, it's not like he's going to be a huge package. So the trade I have for y'all today, have it up in the top right corner, I assume I do at least, it'd be Danny Green, Mike Scott, those just make the salary work, and Terrence Ferguson. And just what they would get in return would be Thibault and a lottery protected first round pick. Like I said, they wouldn't get too much in return, but what they would get is they still get the aspiring contracts they would have with Kyle Lowry, so they still have flexibility in the offseason, and they just go ahead and give all the reins and point guard abilities to Fred VanVleet, and they get a young player in Thibault and another first round pick, and they still get to go after free agents this offseason. I think it's a huge win for the Raptors. No, it's not going to make them win the championship this year, but I don't think they're going to. Like I said, they've been disappointing. They have been better lately. But if they want to move on from Kyle Lowry, I think this is definitely a great starting point. And if they can't find any better deals, then this might be something they would go for. And for the Sixers side of it, geez, man, it would just make their team pretty much unstoppable, in my opinion. I mean, you would have Kyle Lowry, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Who's stopping that starting five? I don't think anybody is. Adding Lowry with Simmons, that's it's a lot of playmaking right there, just in terms of those two. And the shooting would go from not being, as great in the past to now they have Lowry, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry out there at the same time. Not to mention Joel can knock some down too. So I think this will make them very, very dangerous and possibly better than the Nets or the Milwaukee Bucks in just terms of their starting lineup. So I think it's a great one right there. At the end of the day, it's just rumors, man. It's not a for sure thing that Kyle Lowry wants out. Not a for sure thing the Raptors want to trade him. And not a for sure thing the Sixers even want to trade him. And no one knows if that will be a trade the Raptors want to take. So it's just a lot of speculation right there. But if the Sixers couldn't get Kyle Lowry, I know they wanted James Harden. So if they struck out on James Harden, they can't get Kyle Lowry, maybe they just go for someone else. They're like, we're playing very, very good, and I think we have a great chance but we need a little bit more. So if that's the case, then I came up with a couple more trades for him. And this one right here is a really obvious one in my opinion. Victor Oladipo, the Rockets, really are assuming that Victor Oladipo might leave. He's on the last year of his deal. You know, he's been traded around a lot, so he has no reason to stay loyal. And I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't really stay loyal in this situation either. He's going to go to the best situation for him. And that's why the Pacers really traded him, because they didn't even think he was going to stay. So if the Rockets just want to make sure they get some value out of him, considering he was a big part of that James Harden trade, they can go ahead and trade Victor Oladipo and go ahead and get rid of PJ Tucker too. You know, give the Sixers a little bit more value. And in return, they would get Danny Green and Mike Scott. And then they'll also get, so you know, those are just salary cap fillers, like I said before. They'll also get Tyrese Maxey, who has been very, very good as a rookie so far. So they have him for 3 more years under a rookie contract than they have his right. So if he turns out to be a great player, they're going to have him at minimum for like 7 years after this year. So they already got him locked up. If he turns out good, he's already good, but if he turns out great, that'll be a great steal for them. And then they get a lottery protected first round pick. And really all this does, in my opinion, is sure up that they get some more value for that James Harden trade. They already got all those picks. They get another pick, and they get a young player. I think it's a great deal. PJ Tucker isn't doing much for them. Their season has fallen off tremendously after that win streak they had when James Harden left. And they're not making the playoffs, man. At the end of the day, it's not going to hurt them. It's going to give them more assets. And I think it's a good move for them, man. In terms of the Philadelphia 76ers, though, this is probably better than the other trade. Actually, it definitely is. I mean, we're talking about a lineup of Victor Oladipo, Seth Curry. Then you have Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. And then PJ Tucker off the bench. Or maybe you have Seth Curry off the bench. Honestly, so you have Ben Simmons, Oladipo, Harris, Tucker, and Embiid. Whatever you want to do. Tucker is going to bring the corner shooting like always, you know, a sniper from the corner. And then Victor Oladipo is just, well, he's a star. He may not be at the top of his game like he was about 2 years ago, but he's still going to give you about 20 points a night on pretty damn good shooting, and he's going to bring some intensity on the defensive end. Third one, see, this team, they don't have as much of a reason to just want to get rid of a person, so they wouldn't get as much value as they would before, because the other ones, they were kind of getting more value because it was players like, oh, I could see why they would give them up. So they're kind of giving up the same amount of stuff, but they're not getting as much. But in this trade, they go Danny Green, Mike Scott, and a top 10 protected first round pick for Buddy Hield. So obviously, they're basically just giving up Mike Scott and a protected first round pick to upgrade Danny Green. Because, you know, Buddy Hield's really just going to get a better Danny Green at that point. I'm a really big fan of Buddy Hield. I think he just doesn't like a situation in Sacramento. Because a couple years ago, he was playing really damn good. And he's about just as good of a shooter in terms of just catch and shoot as Danny Green. But in my opinion, he's just so much more versatile in terms of shot creation on the offensive end. And I think it would just make them better at shooting off the dribble in general. Because the Sixers, even with Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, they're still not one of the best shooting teams in the league. And they should try to improve it in some way. And if this is the only way they can improve it, I say go ahead and go for it. I mean, Danny Green, he does have championship experience. He's won a championship with 3 different teams. So that is valuable. But at the same time, he is older. And if you can just get a better shooter, why not go for it, man? Regardless of what trade they make. If they make one of these trades and make another trade, I think they definitely need to make a trade. The Sixers are very, very good this year. And with them playing this good, being at the top of the conference, and with the Nets and Bucks being severe competitors, I think they should try and go all in, because it's wide open for them this year. Who knows what will happen? You know, maybe the Nets just get a lot stronger bench and defensive presence next year, and other teams just there's another super team next year. Who knows? The NBA is crazy these days, and when it's wide open for you, you need to go all in. Make sure you win that championship when you can, man. Because the Raptors, they took their one little opportunity to get Kawhi Leonard. They got that championship. Now they're probably done for a little bit. But you got to snag the opportunity when you can. Because if not, you never know when the next Golden State Warriors, the next LeBron, Miami Heat is going to come around. Whatever team. And when those teams come around, it makes it very, very hard to make it to the finals, win a championship, any of that. So if they can just go ahead and cash in on some of their assets and get that championship this year, Ooh, I mean, the process will be complete, man. It will be all worth it. All the pain, all the suffering, they will be champions. And I'm a big Joel Embiid fan, as I said before, so I would be down for it as well. Anyways, guys, that's all I got time for today. If you like the video, please hit the like button down below. It only takes a couple seconds and helps out the channel a lot. Also, if you want to see more content from me, you can go ahead and subscribe. But if not, nice seeing you anyways, man. But that's all I got time for. I think I already said that, but see you later, man.